How does one process anger correctly? It's no small task. And anger is not what most people have been taught to believe it is. Most people think that anger means you're bad, immature, unstable, or out of control. That simply isn't true. Anger is natural. It is one of the most common emotions a human being will experience. Everyone has felt it. And if someone claims they haven't, they're either completely unaware or dishonest. Anger itself is not the problem. Uncontrolled anger is. Society has created this stigma around anger, as if expressing it automatically makes you someone who is wrong. Even more strange, if someone provokes you, pushes your buttons, or manipulates you, and you react, somehow you become the villain. And I believe that inversion is what frustrates most people. There are people who provoke intentionally, not loudly, not obviously, but subtly. They test boundaries. They make small remarks disguised as jokes, disguised as concern, disguised as just being honest. And when you react, they step back, calm, composed. Suddenly you are too sensitive, overreacting, or emotional. That reversal is deliberate. Manipulative people rarely appear aggressive. They appear reasonable, measured, even charming. They understand one thing very well. If they can trigger emotion in you and remain calm themselves, they control the narrative. It's no longer about what they did, but it's about how you reacted. And that is where anger spikes, especially if you value honesty, especially if you prefer direct confrontation over subtle games. But here is the key shift. When you recognize the pattern, you stop personalizing it. You see the mechanism. And once you see the mechanism, it loses its mystery. Anger in that moment is not weakness. It is your internal alarm system telling you something is off. The goal is not to silence the alarm. It is to respond to it intelligently. When anger rises, your body shifts, heart rate increases, your breathing shortens, and your muscle tightens, and your thought process slows. The first skill is interruption. Pause. Take slow, deliberate breaths. No dramatic ones, controlled ones. This is not weakness. This is regulation. You cannot think clearly while flooded with adrenaline. If you react immediately, you give control to the other person, especially if they are trying to provoke you. So instead of reacting, direct it. Anger is energy. You can waste it in outbursts, or you can channel it into clarity. Step away if needed. Think about the situation when you're not in it. Ask yourself, what is actually happening? Is this about ego? Control? Projection? Sometimes, recognizing patterns changes everything. Manipulative people have patterns. Provocation has patterns. Once you see them, they lose power. Another powerful practice is meditation. Not as a trend, but as discipline. Meditation trains you to observe your thoughts without obeying them. That skill translates directly into anger management. You begin to notice, I am angry, instead of I am anger. There's space. And in that space is choice. It also helps to mentally rehearse. When you're calm, consider how you would react or respond if a certain behavior were to happen again. That preparation reduces surprise. And surprise fuels anger. Understanding your why also matters. Why does this bother you? Is it betrayal, disrespect, lack of accountability? Knowing your values helps you respond. With precision instead of impulse. And precision always make you look better than impulse. Anger is not your enemy. Uncontrolled anger is. There is strength in feeling it. There is weakness in being ruled by it. The Stoics understood something important. You cannot control what other people do. You cannot control what they say. You cannot control whether they attempt to provoke you. But what you can control is your response. And that distinction is everything. When you react impulsively, you hand control over to the other person. When you pause, breathe, and choose your response, you reclaim it. Anger is energy, and energy is neutral. It becomes destructive or constructive based on direction. The goal is not suppression. It is discipline. It is clarity. It is the ability to feel something deeply without being consumed by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That requires restraint. That requires self-mastery. And self-mastery is not passive. It is deliberate. Breathe, observe, think, then respond. Not from ego, not from wounded pride, but from principle. Because when you control your anger, you control yourself. And that is real power.